Housing prices could fall by 47%, says very well-known Harvard economist. Yikes, let's check this out. This is kind of scary, huh? Are real house prices likely to decline by 47%, says Patrick Hendershot, referring to this article right here. The baby boom, the baby bust, and the housing market from N. Gregory Mankiw. Who's that? And David Weil from Harvard University. Hopefully you didn't see what I... All right, good. The paper examines the impact of major demographic changes on the housing market in the United States. The entry of the baby boom generation into its house buying years is found to be a major cause, or the major cause, of the increase in real estate prices from the 70s. Wait a second. I thought inflation was dooming everybody in the 70s. That's not, well, the inflation, Josh, it kept up with, I thought high interest rates were going to doom everybody in the 70s. And higher interest rates were because of inflation. How dare they? Well, Josh, but don't you see? The high interest rates didn't doom everybody because there's a high demand. Okay. So the interest rates don't determine housing prices. Demand. Who's been saying that? This guy. So what? So I thought inflation everywhere is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon. So if inflation is kicking in high gear, interest rates are going up. Shouldn't that deflate the price of housing because the higher interest rates make it less affordable? But apparently not. Anyway, the entry of the baby boom generation into its house buying years is found to be the major cause of the increase in real estate housing prices in the 70s, even though the interest rates are going through the roof. Weird. Since the baby bust generation, my generation, is entering its home buying years, housing demand will grow more slowly in the 90s than at any time in the past 40 years. So this is an article I just want to point out from 1989. I just chuckle at this. If it's always an ish. This is what I think it's Truman said. I just want a one-handed economist because they always say, well, we could have a significant decline in housing prices, but on the other hand, and Truman says, I think it was Truman, maybe it was Eisenhower. If the historical relation between housing demand and housing prices continues in the future, real housing prices will fall substantially over the next 2 decades. Their dramatic rise and burst in the 50s and the subsequent decline in the 70s are widely recognized as the most important changes in the U.S. in the past 50 years. All right, let's see. I want to show you something right quick. One sec. Over the next 20 years, the baby bust generation will be in its house buying years. As Kenneth Rosen in 1984 has emphasized, this implies housing demand will grow more slowly in the future. And our estimates, this is Mankiw, says that real housing prices will fall substantially. Indeed, real housing prices, net of inflation, may reach levels lower than one experienced at any time in the past 40 years. Woo! They're calling for a 47% decline in housing. Housing demand rises sharply between the ages of 20 and 30 and remains approximately flat after age 30. This finding implies that an increase in the number of births has little immediate impact on the housing market, but generates an increase in housing 20 years hence. Interesting. Anyway, so they're talking about the housing prices falling 47%. I'm going to go into who Mankiw is because... And this guy said, no, it's not going to fall 40%. We think it's going to fall 10%. This guy's from Ohio State right here. While real house prices seems more likely to decline than increase over the next 2 decades, the most likely decline is 10 to 15%, not 47%. All right, so this is the Department of Finance, Ohio State University. Let's just take a gander, shall we? Always to be armchair quarterback and Monday morning and all that, but... So remember, the guy said there would be less housing demand. It might not drop, but it might not drop 47%, but it could be 10% because the prices should certainly go down because the demand falls off. That makes complete sense in a vacuum. In reality, it didn't happen like this, and that doesn't mean these guys are bad or stupid, but we're going to go into it. So right here is in 1990. We went into that recession, the greatest recession since World War II that Clinton talked about because we're going to Iraq War. And you can see we went from 123. This is not adjusted for inflation, by the way. This is just pure. This is nominal numbers, all right, nominal. So it's like 123, and now it's at the end of 2010, it's 222. So it almost doubled over those 20-year time, and that includes this right here, right there. So if we just look at 1990, if we go to 2000, the price of houses went up by 123 to 165, and if we just take our trusty calculator, 123 is our present value, zero payment, 165 is our future value, 10N, and we got, that's about 3% year over year increase. Just 3%. And even if you factor in here, so we went from 122, and after the greatest drop we've ever seen housing prices, to 222, that's over 20 years, 222,900. That's a 3% increase as well. All right, so the point being is, everyone, the doom and gloom guys always get the headlines, man. But let's see what happened. And look, I'm not here to bash these guys. Hell, I've been wrong 1,000 times. But I just, man, Greg Mankiw. All right, let's take a look at who Greg Mankiw is. Oh. And it's just frustrating because we put so much. What the hell is this? I don't know what that is. Is that his textbook he did? Yeah, right there's a textbook he did. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right, so I don't want that. I just want his Wikipedia page. Greg, yeah, I thought it was his Wikipedia page. Let's check it out. He's best known for his academic work on New Keynesian economics. He's a conservative and had been an economic advisor to several Republican politicians. He was chairman of the Council for Economic Advisors under Bush. He became an advisor to Romney. He announced he was leaving the Republican Party because of his discontent with President Trump and the Republican Party. Yeah, there you go. So, sayonara, fool. But anyway, of course, so what happened was, of course, is he was on the outside looking in, and then he wanted to get back in the good graces because he was just wrong with Bush, and he was wrong in his stuff. And, of course, the Republican Party loves the Harvard guys. And then he said, I got to get back because I can't be part of these Republicans with Trump. And what's his name? Stephen Moore. He's a good guy. Stephen Moore is on the Trump campaign, Trump team, and Larry Kudlow. Just clowns, man. You just can't trust these economists. They don't know their freaking butt from the hole in the ground. No one knows. That's the thing. No one knows. So stop listening to them because they don't know. They don't know what your household situation is. Just do what makes sense to you. All right, we'll see you.